Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I am diving into a topic that directly affects our health, the air we breathe in our home. So, did you know that your home might be off-gassing toxins, and it could be the cause of a lot of our symptoms that we just think are getting older, going through puberty, going through our periods or whatever. And in fact, it could just be the state of the air quality in our homes. So, the first threat that I want to talk about is formaldehyde. Now, indoor exposures, common sources include the building materials themselves. Furniture is a huge one. That's why it's so important to avoid things like particle board, composite, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like you want to avoid plastic furnitures or furnitures that have polyurethane, furnitures that have, well, I think that usually goes away, but plastics, just generally that stuff. We'll talk about that too. So other things are like the paints. The paints are going to have formaldehyde. They're going to be off-gassing, some of them for 20 years. Some of the newer paints are the most toxic paints we've ever had in human history. So varnishes, so like, sealing your woods and stuff like that. If you're using these newer varnishes that are very highly toxic, they're going to off-gas for years. Cleaning agent. So a lot of the cleaning agent, the cleaning products we have, they're going to be off-gassing toxins on the surfaces. Wherever when people touch the surfaces, they're going to get it into their bloodstreams transdermally. They're going to be smelling it into their bloodstream, a whole bunch of ways like that. Let's see. Outdoor, you can get formaldehyde from exhaust from cars, power plants being close by to one, wildfires, you can get some air exposure. But it's typically in lower concentrations than indoors. So indoor air quality is usually way worse than outdoor air quality, regardless of living in a city, which is really sad. So we have to be very careful with our indoor air. So health effects for things like formaldehyde and other toxins like that could be irritation of the eyes and nose, the throat, coughing, wheezing, skin irritation, things like eczema. You'd think that can't be from that. Eczema, breaking out, acne, all these things could be from the off-gassing of the chemical products in our home. Long-term health effects with prolonged exposure to these things can increase the risk of a whole bunch of cancers, particularly nasal, I can't say it, like the throat and the nasal cavity cancers, those can be increased. It is classified as a carcinogen by the World Health Organization, but it's used in everything. So just because for this one particular product, it might be at a safer dose, doesn't mean if you have multiple things. Like let's say you have 3 different pieces of furniture in a room that all have composite wood, it's off-gassing formaldehyde 3 times minimum, 3 times the amount that you're supposed to. Also, if you're getting your stuff from unregulated countries like China, India, maybe, we are seeing that they have very high concentrations, then it's under the legal limit. People are just not checking. So we have to be our own advocates. So we have to go out there and make sure that we're getting things that do not have composite wood. Now, I know that means you're not able to get the most, you're not going to be able to replace a whole room's furniture at one time, but we can do things one piece at a time. We can go to estate sales. We can go to yard sales. We can go ask around for friends and families that have real wood products that are not, in use, and that we could take them. Anytime somebody moves, ask them, do you have any real solid wood furniture? And then maybe you can take that solid wood furniture and make something that you want. One thing that I have found really interesting was it's a lot easier and cheaper to make furniture from like things like oak wood, which is very safe, than it is to buy a lot of furniture pieces. which is mind-boggling. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to make all the design details. You can buy them pre-done and stuff, but still, it is a better option to buy things that are real wood, hardwoods, instead of the particle board and all that stuff, or the plastic furniture, or the plastic pleather stuff. Let's see, some other stuff. VOCs, just VOCs in general. It's a variety of chemicals that off gas. So this includes the formaldehyde. It's just called volatile chemicals because it vaporizes and enters the air from solids or liquids. So this is going to be household products, paints, varnishes, cleaners, disinfectants, air fresheners. Get rid of those plugins. If any of your family members have plugins at this point in time, throw them out for them. Just people cannot help themselves. Sometimes these are neurotoxins, so they are inflaming their brains too. So it's going to be harder for them to make decisions. So you have to make the decision and help them out. Throw that away. Let's see. Stored fuels like gasoline. Storing stuff like this in your garage is so dangerous. People love storing like half-used paint, fertilizers, or disinfectants or whatever. They love storing it in their homes and in their garages. Please do not do that. After you're done using something like this, if you do not have an outside shed, you can't keep it. I'm sorry. I know you want to reuse it for touch-ups. I know it's really sad. It sucks. You want that exact, I know. I get it. You spent all that money on this. I know, but you can't do it. I'm sorry. So we're going to throw them out, and it's for your own good, and you're going to thank me when you're healthy. So yeah, other things like building material, adhesive, carpets is a big one. Thankfully, carpets are out of style. The bad thing is those vinyl plank flooring is in because it's cheaper than wood and other materials. So if you can tile, if you can't do wood floors, real wood floors, please do tile. Please, because the vinyl off gas is forever. And plus, if your feet are sweating or whatever, you're exercising on that floor, it's going in through your feet, which is very easily absorbed. Please avoid that. Okay. Also, you're breathing it in. There's nothing you can do if you live in a place that has vinyl plank flooring or any other plastic material flooring. And I know it can look really much like wood and it can be waterproof or whatever they tell you. It's not worth it. It's better to get tile. Or you know what? It's even better. I don't know the price difference between getting tile and actual wood carpeting. Not wood, sorry, wool carpeting. If you can get floor, wall-to-wall wool, non-toxic carpeting with the non-toxic glues, there are a few companies that make that. I don't know if that's just as expensive as redoing it to tile or wood, but it is an option to look into, and you might be able to get a good deal. Whichever one is the cheaper option of the three, non-toxic wool carpeting, tile, pretty much any of them are pretty good, or the wood, the real wood. If you can't do those, I don't know. And of course, the varnishing on the wood, either it off-gases before it enters your home, or you get one that has a non-toxic. All right, so then we have, I already did composite wood products. Avoid those. I know it's everywhere. It's all over. Everywhere we go to buy furniture, it's fake now. You can't get real wood. I know it's hard. It's really hard. So upholstered fabrics with those flame retardants and those like stain retardants, so like the water, the liquids will just pool and drip off. Those are so toxic for you. So you're going to be, just so that if you spill red wine on your chair so it doesn't stain, you are compromising your health in such a degree that it's really not worth it. So please do not do it. You can get an old chair, right? Get an old chair and find like organic, like whatever, like a linen, whatever fabric. Maybe it's not even for upholstery, but a thick linen fabric. And you can reupholster at least where you're sitting, so you're not like touching it as much. And that could help out a lot if you can do that. It's not that hard to upholster. I'm telling you, when you know what it does to your health, you're going to figure it out. Okay, you're going to figure it out. You can get solid wood or solid metal chairs. You don't need that. And you can make your own little cushions if you need a cushion. Make the cushion. But the other thing, this is another one. Foam. No more foam. I'm sorry, guys. You can't use foam. Foam is super toxic. You're going to have to get those bags of organic cotton fluff and use that, or wool, use that, and use that to stuff your cushions and your pillows and everything. You want to avoid the feathers, even though that's natural and organic. Everybody's allergic to birds. Please do not bring that in your home. I know it's soft and squishy and it's so comfy. But after a while, you're going to be like, why can't I breathe? Why am I getting eczema? Why, all these problems? Why is my jawline receding? So do not do that. Okay. Other ones, cosmetics, deodorants, hairsprays. We're not doing that. We're not doing nail polish or nail polish removers. We're not doing that. We're just having our natural nails because we don't need that. We don't need it. Yeah. All you need is a solid wood chair. If you need the cushion, you make the cushion. We're making cushions. It's so easy. You're not even gonna you're gonna wonder, why did I get all this? When you get upholstered stuff, you have to constantly change the upholstery. There's stains. I don't care if you put the toxic stuff on it. It's still gonna eventually, that's gonna wear off into your bloodstream, of course, and then it's gonna get stained, and now you have to reupholster it with more toxic garbage. So let's not do that. A nice solid wood chair, or even a metal chair where you can make your own cushion, is fine. You guys don't need all of these things. Leather is another one. You can get leather, depending on what they use on it, can off gas. So you want to leave that outside. If it has any smell, leave it outside for like 3-4 days. And then once the smell is completely gone, then you can bring it inside, upholster your chairs with that. Learn how to do it yourself. YouTube is your friend. It's not that expensive. All right. The next one, natural sources of VOCs. It can come from plants, trees, even cooking. Anytime we cook, we're getting VOCs. That's why we have the exhaust fan over the range. Please make sure you turn that on. And when you're cooking, if it's not raining outside, leave the windows open. I know. Why do you want to do that? You need to do that. It's for your health. People who spend a lot of time cooking end up getting a lot of diseases and stuff like that we don't want to go into. But just make sure that there's a lot of airflow when you're cooking, because it's a very toxic situation that people are in every day. Just cooking a steak, just heating something up in a pan. Unless you're cooking with water, which is the safest cooking method, if you just get some chicken, whatever, meat, whatever, and boil it. Other than that, it's toxic. So either you're going to have nothing but soups and stews, or you're going to figure out that you need to leave the windows open and use the exhaust fan. So let's see. The more urban or city, whatever areas are going to have higher VOCs concentration just because of the traffic and the industry, anything like that in the area. Some people will get eye, nose, throat irritation. Other people won't get that at all. Like me, I never get that. But instead will get headaches, dizziness. You can look lazy to some people. People will be like, this person is lazy. They sleep a lot, whatever. And it could be you're poisoned. You're being poisoned. So in severe cases, you can even have loss of memory and loss of coordination. So there's a lot of people that have neurological problems that think it's onset, like dementia or whatever. And it's just, there's so many VOCs. They're not opening the windows and doors in their homes enough. They're not using exhaust fans. There's no exhaust in the bathrooms when they're taking a shower, or they're using a lot of chemicals on their body, on their hair, everywhere. And all the products now are filled with what's it called, the flame retardants. They are spraying it on everything, you guys. You have to be very careful when you're buying stuff. And before you hang up anything, especially everything's from China now, so we have to be on high alert. They are putting chemicals on everything we buy. Every pencil, every chair, every curtain, every cabinet, everything. They're putting tons of chemicals. So if you're going to be buying something that's made in China, made in India, made in another country, you have to understand that there are actual laws that require them, not only what they might be doing as chemical warfare before they send it over here, but when they come here, all the chemical companies here made sure that they made it mandatory to spray them with tons of toxic garbage. And you're bringing that into your home, into your body as you breathe it in. And you might get used to the smell. You might not smell it after a while, but it's still going into your body and causing severe damage. So we're talking things like some things like benzene or whatever can contribute to liver, kidney, and central nervous system damage. So we're talking very serious conditions that can develop over time when you're exposing yourself to these chemicals. So it's not just a bougie thing. Oh, I'm bougie or whatever because I don't want those chemicals in the house. This is your life. And we already know how wonderful the American healthcare system is, that you will go broke if you get really sick. So please make sure you're avoiding it by going and getting real wood furniture, real linen, real cotton, real wool fabrics, upholstery, curtains, everything like that. You can make it yourself. It's not that hard. I know we want to pretend like everything is hard to do, but it's absolutely not. And if you are going to get something from China, let's say you want to get some curtains from China, you're like, Kat, I can't do this. I'm not going to make something. I can't sew. I don't even want to flip it over and use those clips because then it doesn't look right. Whatever. Fine. If you're going to do that, wash it. Bring it into your home, straight into the washing machine, wash it 10 times, and then hang it up. But it's going to shrink. I don't care. I don't care if it shrinks. It's better if it shrinks a little bit or gets a little wrinkly and then you have to use a steamer or something to get the wrinkles out rather than smell in all those chemicals. Now, every single PJ that you get, like pajamas that you buy in the store, unless it's fitted PJs, and they'll have a warning tag if they don't have chemical flame retardants on the pajamas. You get a warning if it doesn't have the stuff that kills you. But if it does have it, there's no warnings. So what you just have to know is anytime you buy a pajama or anything that's made for sleep, you have to wash it 50 times before you use it, unless you get the one that specifically has the warning tag that says it doesn't have the flame retardant on it. And I wish you could just buy organic cotton or whatever, non-toxic, blah, blah, blah. No. It doesn't matter if it's made for pajamas. By law, they have to spray it, right? So it doesn't matter if it's organic cotton or wool or whatever the material is, they're spraying it unless they have a warning tag that they did not spray it. So when you're bringing that stuff in, it takes 1 year of regular washing for it to go away. So you're just going to start washing that every time you have a laundry day. Just throw those PJs in there. And then after, I don't know, a couple months, then you can start wearing it. Then it's safer. Or what we're going to do is we're not going to buy stuff that are pajamas made for being pajamas. We're going to get stuff that is made for other things, right? Made for loungewear or whatever. And that's what we're going to use to sleep in. Get a big oversized whatever shirt, whatever, something else rather than pajamas, especially for young kids. You don't want them to get hormone problems, infertility problems when they get older. What is up? Welcome. So, okay, the next up we have plastic. All right, plastic off-gassing. These are your phthalates, your BPA, and other chemicals that leach from plastic. They're found in everyday items like toys, food containers, pretty much virtually all products, even leather products, plastic now. So plastic, the evaporation of plastic, it contains various chemicals, including additives like plasticizers, stabilizer, flame retardants again, colorants, and all of these can slowly evaporate or off-gas into the air over time. So this process is more pronounced when the plastic is new or exposed to heat, light, or solvents, right? Heat, light, or solvents. So if you have like a pleather couch next to a window, light and heat from the window, light coming in. Don't do it. Do not bring a pleather anything into your home. Do not do that. It's not safe. Never put any plastic containers in the microwave. I don't care if it says microwave safe. Microwave safe doesn't mean safe for humans. Microwave safe just means it won't melt in the microwave. That's all the word has ever meant since the dawn of time. It has never meant safe for humans. Plastic has never been safe for humans. It never will be. They've done experiments with mice where they give a cold plastic container, put some water in it, and there was infertility in, I think it was like 6 to 8 generations of those mice. Right? So we're not talking about a little bit of a problem. We're talking about a huge amount of problem. This is not a joke. Avoid plastics. And I'm sorry if you like perfumes, but they are like a biohazard. Do not have perfumes on. Don't don't give them to people, don't put them on. And people like to believe that essential oils are safer or better, so they might put those out into the air. You do not want these chemicals in the air at all. Essential oils can still be toxic when they're put into the air because they're not supposed to be put into the air. In the old times, we would distill them and maybe put them on a little bit of oil on a wrist, and you could only smell it when you brought it up to your wrist. So other than the person who like is, kissing you, they're not going to smell it. If anyone outside of the person who's right up on your skin can smell you, it's toxic, period, end of story, because they have to include a lot of phthalates and stabilizers and toxic stuff in order to get it to stick long enough and to be strong enough that other people further away from you can smell it. So please do not do that. This is chemical warfare. This is not a joke. So let's see. Their phthalates are commonly used in plasticizers to increase flexibility and durability. So they're in things like PVC. So think of all the PVC products. Pipes are pipes. A lot of them are PVC. They give you endocrine disrupting effects. All of them. All of them are going to do this. So you're already getting all these problems just by opening the tap and washing your hands. You're getting endocrine disruptors, right? So I know not all of us can afford a whole house water filtration system, a fancy one, and we might even have PVC pipe parts inside our homes. Almost everybody does. If you haven't switched to copper, I mean, it's really bad, guys. We're not in a good situation. So that's why everybody needs to be detoxing and everybody needs to be lowering their chemical exposures a lot. And that means, and I did a whole series on this, on like the pillars of health, and I talk about detox. Everybody needs to be detoxing. This is not just if you feel good now, you still need to detox. No matter how great you feel, I need you to detox. Okay, so the next one is... Okay, so BPA can be found in plastics, epoxy resins. It's used in food a lot, drink containers, almost all. Even they did something to dissolve the aluminum cans, and they found the lining was plastic. So you can't even get a can of something to avoid plastic. It has to be in glass or nothing. So glass is your only choice. And I know some people are like, oh, but what about stainless steel? So a lot of the stainless steels have nickel, or they'll have lead in there, or they'll have some other heavy metal that will be leaching into your body. We can't test for all of them. We can only get over-the-counter lead swipes, so we can test it for lead, which is great. That's a first step, but it's not enough to test for all the other heavy metals. So we're not going to do stainless steel, blah, 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 blah. No, glass only. Oh my God, but we're going to break it. Glass only. I've been giving my kid glass stuff since they were babies. If they drop it, get a new one. I'm sorry, it happens. You watch them, you get silicone. It's not good to get silicone because that's plastic now. We used to think it was safer, but it's not safer. Oh my gosh. So get like I don't know, like some fabric that goes over it, and then you can tighten it. So like if it breaks, the glass will stay in the fabric. You have to figure it out. In the old time, they only had glass bottles, and they survived. All right, so the next one is serine. It's emitted from polyserine products like foam packaging, cups, insulation. It's known as a carcinogen in high concentration. So that's also in homes. Okay, other VOCs. Let's see. So any sort of like throat, ears, nose, whatever, irritations, headaches, migraines, chronic migraines. A lot of people have it because they stay indoors a lot, and indoors, what's being exposed to them in the air? The VOCs. So it's been linked to hormonal imbalances, reproductive issues, developmental problems, increases in cancer risk. The impact depends on the concentration and duration of the exposure, but a lot of us are spending way too much time indoors and not too much time detoxing outdoors, sweating. If you're not outside sweating, you are not detoxing. You are holding on to toxins. It's making you sicker and making you prone to all these problems. So shower curtains, get rid of them. I actually replaced it with, when I had like a shower that needed like a curtain, I replaced it with a cotton curtain. And Did it get on the floor a little bit? Yeah, and I just wiped it down after every shower. It is what it is. It's still, we're talking about our health. We're not talking about what's convenient. Okay, I talked about that. Vehicles. Car interiors where heat can accelerate off gassing from the dashboards and the seats and other plastic components. Your car has in the manual somewhere where it says when you turn it on, you need to put the air to circulate outside for 10 minutes before you get in the car. So for 10 minutes, you need to put the AC cranked up, circulating outside, so it gets all of the VOCs, or at least most of them, out of the car, so it's safer to be in the car. How many of us do this? How many? Nobody does it, right? Nobody does it. So make sure when you get in your car, at least open all the windows and the sunroof, whatever you got. I don't know, you guys. Put it so that it gets the outside air and it goes rushing through. You need to do that for the first 10 minutes that you are on the road. If you can't do it before you get in the car for 10 minutes, do it the first 10 minutes that you're driving. Get those VOCs out. And if you can, find yourself a vintage car, fix that up. They had like metal and real leather dashboards. I mean, everything was nice. Wood, they would put wood, leather. I mean, everything was nicer back then. We didn't have to worry about this junk. This is all new. All right, let's see. No. Okay. Finely shredded versus solid plastic. The more thick and solid plastic is, the less off-gassing it might have, but the most toxic plastic is black plastic. Black plastic is used in electronics, like cords and stuff like that, like all the components, stuff like that. Try not to touch that. That's very toxic. And any utensil that is plastic, throw it away, because a lot of them will have black parts on it. Like I got these metal tongs, but then they have these black rubbery plastic parts. That's toxic. If that gets exposed to heat, it's off gas. All right, so ventilation. We talked about this in air quality in my pillars of health. You can look at that for a better idea of all the things you can do. Leave the windows open, especially at night. If you're in a high traffic area, do it at nighttime when people are home, not driving around. Open all the windows in your home. Air everything out a couple times a week. Make sure all the windows are open when you're cooking. And make sure you are not getting mold. Mold is another air toxin. I did some talk about that before. I might do another thing on mold and mast cell activation syndrome. I want to do something on that. So let's see. Better for you would be stainless steel without nickel. And if you can get one that promises no heavy metals, that's not from China, good luck. Silicone, medical grade silicone is okay-ish, but it still leaches. But the best is going to always be glass for anything that you eat or drink out of. So try to avoid plastic. All right, let's see. Things you can do going forward to mitigate your toxic load. Yes, we're all very toxic. So to minimize plastic consumption, avoid anything that touches your food. We can't avoid this because everything comes in plastic now. All your meat's going to be plastic junk. Anyways, so look for low VOC or no VOC stuff on anything you buy, furniture, blah, blah, blah. Look for certification like Green Guard for furniture. The plastic I used to have behind me, I used to have the plastic vinyl fake wallpaper stuff. Go back to the regular wallpaper. Go back to it, please. It's actually much easier to do. I thought the plastic one was easier to do. It's not. The regular paper old-fashioned one is great. I love that one. It's so easy. The paste, it's not hard at all. So you can reposition it and it just looks better. I don't know. It's like the quality is better. And once I took that off, since it was off-gassing and it was trapped behind the wallpaper and between the wall and the wallpaper, it off-gassed so much I started throwing up. I'm telling you, I'm super sensitive because like I have histamine problems. So like I'm super chemical sensitive because of that. Because I used to live in a home with mold and this place had a little bit mold. We fixed it, but still. So I'm super attuned to chemical stuff and it was all trapped there, all came out. Horrible smell for days. Do not use those. All right. Get HEPA filters. It is better to get cheaper air filters, have many of them, than to have one big expensive one. So always keep that in mind. The more you have, the better. Let's see. I mean, I shouldn't have to say this, but avoid smoking because that also increases formaldehyde levels inside the home. So find environmentally friendly cleaning solutions for your home. I know everybody says vinegar. Vinegar can cause histamine issues and make people nauseous. A lot of people have sensitivities and allergies to the smell of vinegar. So I know that it kills stuff, but you can find other things that'll kill stuff too. So just try to avoid the vinegar. Let's see. You're supposed to be able. Please don't do that. No. Can you take like a nicotine gum or something? It doesn't have the same effects. I heard that nicotine is really good for your cognitive function. So if you just don't smoke it, but you just take it with a patch or the gum, you can get the positive effects without the negative carcinogen effects. Something to think about. Let's see. Encourage people to only buy stuff that are non-toxic and don't have all these things. So like get your friends and family involved. Share this message. Make sure that people are not giving companies their money just to have cheaper toxic stuff. I know you want to get everything right now and not save up for that really good piece. But look, as an example, I wanted a real wood desk for my computer, right? So I got the cheapest garbage IKEA, whatever desk for a year until I saved up. And then I could get like the really nice one for like $600-700. And it's like real wood. Do that. I know it takes longer, but do that. Yeah, and do not vape. Don't inhale anything. Just like eat it or chew it or transdermal. All right. So if you guys have any other tips for increasing the air quality inside your homes, please get to the comments and leave everybody some tips and subscribe for more health focus stuff like this as well as the other crazy stuff that I do. So on a personal note, I have been dealing with histamine issues and mast cell activation for like over 12 years. So I know that chemical sensitivities can affect some people more than others. It seems to be a lot of people that are reactive to it have just stronger immune systems. But everybody has a reaction to it. It's just not everyone expresses it. So there'll be the sensitive person that has a stronger immune system that gets a migraine, and everybody else will be like, just what's that smell? And nothing else will happen to them. Meanwhile, the damage both people are experiencing is the same in the body. So just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not happening. And rather than get overwhelmed, whenever you're going to get a new product, research the safety of it, research all the chemicals in it. And remember, natural doesn't always mean safe. Essential oils isn't always safe. No, do not wear a mask in your home. Please do not do that. It doesn't help. VOCs are too small. And they can go through your skin too. So there's not much you could do with that. Okay. So I have 2 other videos that you can check out if you're still interested in more stuff about this. So this one is, I put it in the chat. This is how to find safe clothing to avoid endocrine disruptors, obesogens, and carcinogens. Now there's actually stuff in the fabrics that can make you overweight. Isn't that fun? So yeah, so that's one. And then we have another one that you guys can look at. This is called, I did this with Dr. Stephen Cabral. And this one is your body's toxic load, detoxing and weight loss. So this, he's going to explain like how like toxins, exposures can happen and how we can detox, and better than I can explain it. So those are two really cool ones to check out. And as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and I'll see you next time for more health and wellness stuff. And thank you guys for hanging out. And if it gets cold at night, just open the windows. That's perfect. Too cold is good. Bye.
Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, defeating lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control.